raise. You think these cages are built for the poor and for the weak, for the families torn apart while you laugh and tweet? Look at the puppets dance to the corporate sound, but we are still here and we will stand our ground. There is blood on your hands. We have seen the truth erased. You put the prophets first instead of the people you've displaced. History is watching, and it won't soon forget. It may not be you this time, but you could soon be next. Burn it all down, tear the walls apart. We will not bow, we will not lose heart. We will put an end to the hate, we will put an end to your lies. We will stand side by side, and we will rise! War! Burn it all down! Tear it all apart! Burn it all down! Tear it all apart! Burn it all down! Tear it all apart! Lies on the screen from the deadline machine! Burn it all down! They killed the American dream! Don't blame an escalator! A tower built on decay! Smiling like a tyrant while the world fades away! Fear and hate is the name of your game! Divide the people and shift all the blame! The truth is dead! You sold them for fame! History won't forget your name! Fake empire! Built on greed! Fascist clown! Watch it bleed! Break the chains! Fight the fire! Dethrone the king! Take it higher! Rockets and cases! You've got blood on your hands! Worship the dollar while you ignore our demands! We storm the gates! Our rage is fueled by your lies! We will sit back and watch as your empire crumbles and dies! Fear and hate is the name of your game! Divide the people and shift all the blame! The truth is dead, you sold it for fame! History won't forget! Nay, nay! Fake empire! Built on greed! Fascist clown! Watch it bleed! Break the chains! Fight the fire! Dethrone the king! Take it higher! You build walls! We break them down! You spread lies! We burn this town! You breathe fear! We fight back! Hardcore heart! Counterattack! Fake empire going down, no more kings, burn the crown, justice call, hear the sound, rise up now and stand your ground. All out. Promises break. Promises break. On a gilded stage, dividing the people, fueling the rage. Walls built high, but compassion's low. Truth buried deep beneath the show. No more lies, no more deceit. We will bow down, we will retreat. Voices loud, we stand as one. The fight's not over, it's just begun. It's just begun. Families torn at the borderline. Justice denied, time after time. Prophet's soul on the planet burns. When will we learn? When will we learn? No more lies, no more deceit. We will bow down, we will retreat. Voices loud, we stand as one. The fight's not over, it's just begun. It's just begun. It's just begun. Resist the power and break the chain. Rise above all this hate and this pain. Together we're strong, we won't divide. In our unity we will find our pride. The fight's not over, it's just begun. 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 The fight's not over. Whispers turn to battle cries. The truth is dead, been fed to lies. They sell us lies in the name of peace. What justice rots beneath the leash. They write the laws just to serve the few. We bleed beneath the red, white, and blue. But freedom's fire still burns inside, where truth and treason often collide. So raise your voice and raise your fist. We are the storm that they can't dismiss. No more kings and no more crowns. We are the ones who will burn it down. The tree of liberty must feed on the patriots who dare to bleed. The tyrants tremble when freedom rings. We are the roots and we will bring the thunder rolling through the land. With fire in our hearts and blood on our hands. No peace without the will to fight. No dawn without a rebel night. The balance a joke and the courts offline. And American justice lags a decade behind. So strike the drum and light the flame. Each beating soul will rise again. The people's wrath is a sacred flood. The soil drains deep the martyr's blood. So raise your voice and raise your fist. We are the storm that they can't dismiss. No more kings and no more crowns. We are the ones who will burn it down. The tree of liberty must feed on the patriots who dare to bleed. The tyrants tremble when freedom rings. We are the roots and we will bring the thunder rolling through the land. With fire in our hearts and blood on our hands. Not for glory, not for gold, but for the stories that were never told. For every voice that they tried to drown, we will plant the flag and hold our ground. So raise your voice and raise your fist. We are the storm that they can't resist. No more kings and no more crowns. We are the ones who will burn it down. The tree of liberty must grow with the blood that only the brave know. And if we should fall, then we fall as one beneath the rising vibrant sun. The tyrants will fall and the people will rise, because freedom never truly dies. They build their towers in the sky, hoarding wealth while the workers die. Billionaires with blood-stained hands, trampling lives to expand their brand. They say they earned it, they say it's fair, but they only take while we despair. Their pockets are fat and their hearts are cold. Working ourselves to death makes them more bold. But now the time has come for the people to rise up. We will never bow, we will never kneel. We see our lives and we know the deal. You hoard the wealth, you crush the poor. We're coming for you, you capitalist whore. This land is your land, this land is my land. We will fight side by side and hand in hand. The system is rigged, it's all just a game. The rich pull the strings, the poor take the blame. Wealth hoarders live in mansions, the people live in chains. The billionaires don't care, they cash in on our pay. Luxury is a cage that's been built on the backs of the common workers that they keep under attack. But we the people, we've had it rough. Their empire is fragile, we've had enough. And now the time has come for the people to rise up. We will never bow, we will never kneel. We see our lives, and we know the deal. You hoard the wealth, you crush the poor. We're coming for you, you only got whore. This land is your land, this land is my land. We will fight side by side and hand in hand. No more silence, no more living in fear, no more being divided, no more broken man's tears. Don't try to keep us down, you are not our king. In every city and every town, let motherfucking freedom ring. Because the time has come for the people to rise up. We will never bow, we will never kneel. We see your lies, and we know the deal. You hoard your wealth, you crush the poor. We're coming for you, you capitalist whore. This land is your land, this land is my land. We will fight side by side and hand in hand. It's better to die standing on your feet than living a lie down on your knees. It's better to die standing on your feet than living a lie down on your knees. We signed up to fight for freedom, not to be the boots on the necks of Americans. You used us, you lied to us, and now we're coming to square the account. Get fucked and die mad about it! Admin Tip 360, bitch! We wear the scars, we bear the pain. We watched our friends die in blood and blame. You said that we fought for liberty, but we came home to fight hypocrisy. You turned the rifle around on peace. You crushed dissent, you unleashed police. You sent us in just to guard your throne. You turned the streets into a combat zone. No one wants to know. Not in this fight, we hold the line. Whether it's day or night, no one wants to know. This ain't no game. There is only one true, we are the same. You armored up and sent the troops to beat down kids and protest groups, to guard the banks, protect the suits so that they can't under their boots. You wave the flag like it's a threat, but we remember every single bet that you left to rot, alone and discarded, while CEOs got golden parachute parties. Anyone walks alone, not in this fight. We on the line, whether it's day or night. No one walks alone. This ain't no game. There is only one true. We are the same. To every citizen still asleep, wake the fuck up! To my fellow veterans, remember your oath! Our freedom is dying right beneath our eyes! The people in charge tell us nothing but lies. The common people starve while billionaires see, and we're the ones tossed out in the street. Let's eat the rich, let's make them pay their share. Paying their taxes is a burden they can bear. Make billionaires slave again. Not in this fight, we are the line. Whether it's day or night, no one walks alone. This ain't no game. There is only one truth. We are the same. No one walks alone. Not in this fight. We are the line. Whether it's day or night, no one walks alone. This ain't no game. There is only one truth. We are the same. No one walks alone. I got something for you. Hang on to your asses. Towers, velvet ropes, behind the mask, a vulture chokes, power suits and dirty hands, wag the dog in desert sands, victims screaming into voids while kings play gods with broken toys, airbrush lies on every screen. What the hell does justice mean? Lock room, VIP, predator in a crowd walking free, blood on the floor, hurt you in chains. How many more gonna scream in vain? You built your throne on broken laws. Now you're scared, you know what you saw. Silence bought with piles of cash. Erase the files, burn the trash. Martial law for damage control. Draft the board to hide your soul. Wanna light the world on fire just to dodge the light trip wire. History is a loaded gun. Tick, 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 you better run. Lock room, VIP, predator in a crowd walking free. Blood on the floor, hurt you in chains. How many more gonna scream in vain? Your kingdom stinks with every name. You'll kill us all to dodge the blame. This ain't conspiracy, it's confession. Hidden in plain sight, full suppression. You laugh while the system bleeds, but the streets remember what you need. Truth, there's a crime. You just spare the time when the lights come by and your ass is mine. Locked room, VIP, no more secrets, no more gates. Dragged across your marble floor. Truth is kicking down your door. I said I'm young and believe the vow. Stars and stripes, I wear them now. Trained to fight and trained to lead. Wore the flag like it was all I need. I went to war, that was my goal. bullet holes. Did what I had to, cause that was the cost. I came home proud, but broken and lost. The other party used me and threw me away. Now I see through the games they play. They wrapped their lives in red, white, blue, but the blood on my hands was never for you. It was never for you. They said freedom, they said truth, but fed me hate since I was a youth. Republican dreams, conservative pride, just uniforms for the greed they hide. Where were they when the VA failed? When my friends came home and we all derailed? Where were they when we screamed in pain? Too busy chasing power and gain. All the party used me and threw me away. Now I see through the games they play. You bring support to wave your flags while you turn your backs on body bags. Don't turn your back on the fallen. You say that I betrayed you. I bled for this country. What did you ever do? You cheered for war. Then you ran from the wounded. I see who the traitors really are now! I gave my all, you gave me lies. Soldiers die while your empire thrives. Call me woke, call me lost. You never paid the fucking cost. And the party used me and threw me away. But I won't be silent one more day. I fight again, not for your pride, but for every soul you left behind. The party used me and threw me away. But I won't be silent one more day. Justice ain't red, justice ain't blue. It's the truth, and it's coming for you. Marching down the street with your MAGA flag, spitting serpent's lies while you're waving that rag, screaming freedom while you chain the weak. It makes me sick every time you speak. Beneath your cross, behind your screen, you sold your soul for a fascist dream. Keyboard warrior that don't know pain, a cultist clown whose leader's insane. You want a king, not a constitution. You crave control, not a revolution. But you lick the boots, you're a rich man's pawn. You say you're free, but your freedom's gone. You're not with us, you're a fucking disease. You live in fear, spend life on your knees. Try to own the limbs, but you just don't regret. You fake your fate, now you choke on the dead. The party of law and order, but you storm the hill. You back the blue except when you're out to kill. You wave a gun in your neighbor's face. Fake ass patriot, you're a fucking disgrace. History watch while you took your stand. We saw what you did all across this land. American patriots don't kneel to a king. You're a fucking simp sucking that cinnamon ring. You are a king, not a constitution. You crave control, not a revolution. But you lick the boots, you're a rich man's pawn. You say you're free, but your freedom's gone. You're not with us, you're a fucking disease. You live in fear, spend life on your knees. Try to hold the limbs, but you just don't regret. You faked your fate, now you choke on the dead. You traded your hood for a MAGA hat. The mark of the beast, you believe in that. You don't believe the words that you shout. You chant just to drown out the doubt. You were born to lose and you still started this game. The fire is coming in, we are the flame. We're gonna tear it down, bury it 6 foot deep. And we'll never forget that you're a sheep. You are a king, not a constitution. You break control, not a revolution. But you lick the boots, you're a rich man's pawn. You say you're free, but your freedom's gone. You're not with us. You're a fucking disease, you live in fear. Spend life on your knees, trying to own the limbs, but you just so regret. You think you're fake, now you choke on the dead. One, two, three, 4, 26, 47.
We were standing by the kitchen sink, didn't say goodbye, didn't stop to think. He had a big old truck and a crooked smile, and I guess you needed that for a little while. You packed your bags on a Tuesday night, left your ring and your vows in the pale porch light. You said it made you feel like you used to feel. Guess forever love don't mean that it's real. I sat in the dark, trying to make sense of a love that folded like cheap pretense. I gave you my name and my quiet trust. You gave it all away for a reckless rush. You chased your thrill in a stranger's bed while I drank down the words I wish I'd said. You thought I'd break when you slammed that door, but I ain't crying over you no more. Now you miss me now that he's gone. Now you see what you had all along. You want my arms like a worn out song. They don't hold what they did for so long. You burned it down just to watch it fall. Now you're standing in the ashes, trying to call. You say you're sorry, but I don't know how. You loved me then, but you miss me now. You said he made you feel young and free. I guess I made you feel too much like me. You called it love, but you didn't stay. Now you're calling me up every other day. Thought that grass would be green on his side, but the lies he told don't hold up in the light. Now you say you were blind, you were scared, you were weak. Well, honey, I ain't the fool you think you need. I ain't bitter, but I sure ain't blind. You can't rewind a heart back in time. It took all I had just to stand back up, and now you want me to call that love. You say you dream of our old front porch, of Sunday coffee and my old Ford. You say you've changed, that you paid your dues, but I ain't paying twice for losing you. Now you miss me. Now that it hurts. Now you see truth behind your own words. You want my touch like it still means grace. But this ain't the same man you can replace. You left a note, now you want a vow. But baby, it don't work like that now. You loved me then, but you miss me now. I ain't angry, but I'm done looking back. Some things break and don't come back intact. You want my love like it's still brand new, but you can't undo what you put me through. You want back in, but baby, hear me clear. That door you closed, it don't swing back here. So you miss me now that he's through with you, and he ain't the man that loved you like I do. But I ain't the same man that you thought you knew. 'Cause baby, I am through with all your shit too. You want redemption, but I ain't your priest. You made your choice, now let it be peace. I hope you heal, I hope you find how, but I ain't the one who needs you now. You loved me then, but you miss me now. You loved me then, but you miss me now.
Now it's time for the throw punch!
Tim said we were all here. What? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Apparently, I took myself off the stage. I don't know how that happened. It is what it is. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Tonight, we have, on a Tuesday night live stream, we have our first non-political candidate in...
Oh, boy.
How long has it been? It's been a minute.
Since Friday.
No. Tuesday night. Our regular night.
Oh, Tuesday. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Man, I thought I had one over on you. What the fuck?
Accuracy doesn't win around here.
All right. So, for those of you that are tuning in, I'm Big Sarge, also known as Admin Tim. Joining me tonight, we've got Admin Jamie, we've got Admin Jen, Admin V, and our guest, Walter.
Hi.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for having me.
Walter, go ahead and introduce yourself, because who knows better than Walter about Walter?
Hello, it's Walter Rhein. I do a Substack called I'd Rather Be Writing. And I started that. I was just wanted to write advice for how to make money writing. And of course, I got stuck fighting fascism like all the rest of us. And lately, over the last couple of months, I've been interviewing a lot of progressive candidates because I'm getting pretty fed up with all these publications on Substack or elsewhere that complain about our Democratic establishment that takes AIPAC money, but then they never elevate a progressive candidate who does not. And I keep trying to tell people, quit sponsoring these guys. They're not your friend. Our enemy is the center. The center is the puppet masters. The army is, the troops they send into the battle are the far right, but the enemy's in the center. We have to replace them. We gave them all the power to change this in 2020. They failed. We need a whole new government. So that's why I've been elevating progressive candidates. So I'm just delighted to hear that you've been doing the same thing.
Yes, I was. When you said that, I was like, I have a crush.
I love it. I love it.
My fellow SOL admins can attest that I go on the rant against the center all the time, constantly.
Yep.
Vicky, you're muted.
She's muted. You're muted.
V, you're muted. We can't hear you.
It was a good one. It's lost to history. Whatever she said, we need some. Yeah. No, it's still mute. Oh my goodness.
That
there we go. There we go.
Now we're good.
I was going to say, now I'm going to be quite blunt with you. I am not as far left as some here. I am a progressive. I live in South Carolina. I am willing to work with the devil to get what I want.
You got to be careful. They just love bomb. I've been telling this though. It's like that's what the love bombers do. They pretend, but the right, they only pretend to be our friends so they can sabotage. I mean, their operating belief system is government can't work. That's what Republicans always say. So they get power and they destroy the government. We're seeing them do that right now.
So, I'm still pretty progressive. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. And this is OJ, by the way.
Hi, buddy.
Shout out OJ.
Beautiful. I love that. I love it.
And yeah, so that's where we're at.
Yeah.
I'm so glad OJ isn't camera shy.
He is absolutely not camera shy. He loves a conference call.
I love him so much.
Problems during the day job.
So that being the opening topic, Walter, let me ask you then, what are your thoughts about Spanberger?
Oh, who even Spanberger? Okay, refresh me. I've got like 3 things coming through my head.
Current governor of Virginia.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, more in the center.
Yeah, I mean,
ran on a slight economic populist ticket.
It's exactly what they always do. I mean, the other guy that comes to mind is Cuellar, that congressman, the one Democrat who voted for the SAVE Act. I mean, and we got to pressure them. And the fact is, we sit there and we do have a right to speak out when they fail us. And some of the horrible things that she failed, if I'm getting this right, she failed to some union things she vetoed, I think, and she also vetoed the restrictions against ICE. Is that right?
Yeah, if I recall correctly, it was mostly like some union busting stuff. I'd have to like Google it to refresh my memory because everything.
Because the
Abigail
New Jersey governor.
Mickey
they
Sherrill,
both did it. There's 2 that did it.
Yeah, Mikey Sherrill is cracking
Mark.
down hard on. Is it Mickey or Mikey? I don't actually know. Governor Sherrill is cracking down hard against people at Delaney. Which is very, very disappointing. But
yeah, I mean, they put in these centrists, and then they're Republicans, is what they are. I mean, they all are. It's like make a stand, like this idea of the moderates. Oh, I can't decide, if I'm going to go with the side that wants to build schools or the side that's abducting children and raping them. I got to take a moderate. It's like, are you kidding me? I cannot. It's like pick a side. There's no nobility in choosing the center when we're looking at all these just overt acts of evil all across the whole country. Back. Yes, go ahead.
I want everyone to know I'm a progressive. I'm a Warren Democrat. Let's be very blunt about that.
So that's the only reason I can have conversations with you like this. So
it's good to have these conversations.
I am letting you know that, like, I live in South Carolina. It is a dead conservative state, right? Mm-hmm. I do not have the luxury of saying I cannot work with center leftists. Center leftists are all I've got.
I would
So,
respond. Okay, go
you
ahead.
might be saying, "Oh, we just need to push everybody left," but you cannot do that in every state. So, how do you
That's the
balance that?
that's the line. That's the line that the Democrats have been running. And they always insist on pushing their center candidates and then they lose. But I've got a lot of friends in Texas. I mean, there's no redder place than Texas. And what they're finding is the progressives are winning. If we just come forward, and maybe it's just because we're getting caught up in the category, I mean, sanitized terms, if we're saying all these things, if we just say, look, are you tired of surveillance centers? You know, are you tired of taking taxpayer money and using the authoritarian socialism of the Republicans and handing it over to rich people? Usually then you find agreement. There's the famous Senator Paul Wellstone of Minnesota who would say, you know, we all do better when we all do better. And these progressive messages, it's one of the Democrats try to hammer us with that as if they're being reasonable by taking this moderate position and then losing election after election after election. The reality is, if you just take the brakes off and you allow yourself to be unapologetically progressive, we have seen them win.
People lose by being unapologetically progressive here in South Carolina.
They don't get a chance to run. Historically, up till now, they've always held them back, insisted, and I've seen this. If you guys have been interviewing candidates, you've probably seen the same thing. A progressive in a district, they start getting this great grassroots support, and right when they start to be seen as a threat, an establishment Democrat calls them and says, we want you to drop out. Multiple candidates I've talked to have said they've gotten that call from high-ranking Democrats. And the reality is the Democrats, the primaries, the people they run in primaries take donation money from the same side as the Republicans. These corporate Democrats are just as corrupt. It's the illusion of a choice because it's a lot easier to win these primaries. It takes a fraction of the vote. And so they tell the progressives to drop out. DC selects in every one of these districts. And then when the centrist loses, Democrats make more money in fundraising. That's what we have to overcome. Any thoughts? I left y'all.
So this in defiance of what I said earlier, I think there may be a little bit of nuance here, right? Like,
sure.
So, like, I do see what you're saying about, you know, you have the options you have, right, and you have to work with what you got. Mm-hmm. If you don't have the progressive candidates that are getting traction. Sure, right. The liberal establishment is better than the Republicans, if for no other reason, because one, that's the lowest bar possible, but two, you have better organizing conditions. On the other hand, like I live in a fairly red area. I live in central Pennsylvania. My local Democratic Party, my representative is Lloyd Smucker. I hate him. I hate him a lot. But he's mostly run unopposed, or you know, if anybody ran against him, he just kind of swept them because York, Pennsylvania is a cesspool. But like I looked at who ran unopposed in the Democratic primary here, and I did vote in the Democratic primary because I bit the bullet and I registered as a Democrat, so I can vote in primaries in Pennsylvania. As much as I hate the Democratic Party, I bit that bullet.
Yeah.
But the woman running against him is so centrist that I looked at her policy platform and I was like, she's going to lose. Mm-hmm. So I think my response to that is that I have 2 years to shit out a better candidate.
Yep.
And I've been talking to everybody I know about who I can possibly shit out that's better. And I think there's a level to where, like, okay, cool, we could probably run some more centrist people to at least keep a Republican out, but we can still work on and focus on pushing those candidates further left, right? Like, because we can have centrists who don't cede grounds on like trans rights, or don't cede grounds on like abortion rights, or cede grounds on immigration, right? So I think there's a little bit of a middle ground at play in what we can do strategically.
And by the way, I voted today. I voted in my primary. My second, it was the runoff. So I did vote for the most progressive candidate available to run against Joe Wilson. However, I am going to say that, like, you're right when you're talking about how we have 2 more years to figure out how to get more progressive candidates into primaries and such like that. But in the meantime, we got what we got.
Right.
So the reality is that we are working against complete fascism, right? Like,
Yes.
If the choice is between a center left Democrat and a MAGA Republican, fairly obvious choice.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So let's talk about things we can do between now and 2028.
Well, we're in the primary still.
And y'all are still in primary season?
The whole country. They're only about halfway done.
Yeah.
Wisconsin doesn't have theirs till August.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. I assumed that South Carolina was near the end, because it seemed like everybody was voting back in March.
Yeah. Well, what you're saying is super important though, because there is a deliberate. The media is complicit. The media has been captured. It's a propaganda mechanism. Everything is a distraction because the establishment doesn't want us to know how much power we have in these primaries. And what you said, I agree with 100%. You vote your heart in the primaries, and then you're stuck with whatever you get in the general. But we're seeing the whole mechanism, political and the media, trying to push us to the midterms as if it's a foregone conclusion. The way the system is designed is for there's a congressional election every 2 years. So there's big turnover. That's a job review. We're supposed to get rid of those people. And they try to pressure us. Oh, you guys have to be like, it's more this illusion, the left, right, center. Like we can diagnose our political spectrum on a straight line. That model's completely false. There's significant overlap between progressives and actually the MAGA group. We could pull up. Bernie Sanders showed us that. You can pull a lot of those guys away from there. So I just advocate for going out to everybody, and it's whether it's Congress, find the progressive running for any seat. The down ballot stuff is super important. Every single election comes with a budget. If we get good people in there, it finances us because the right is stealing all of our money, right? They steal every penny that they can. So find somebody and find that community, and win or lose, be unapologetically in favor of your values, and we'll start to see the needle change, but it's not going to be in 6 months or 2 years, or it's going to be the rest of our lives. We're fighting this to the end of our days.
And that's what I like people to acknowledge that, because I do. I again, not actually center left, a Warren Democrat.
Yeah, you sound like it to me. We agree. It's just that we're in this battle. Everybody's in this battle now.
That's what I say in
the bathwater.
That's what I say in the admin chat every time it ends up in a whole debate. Is like, well, I don't say that every time, but oftentimes it's like, hey, it's okay to disagree on how to get there as long as we all agree on the destination.
We got to have the conversation. And this didn't feel like a battle. This didn't feel like harsh at all to me. This felt like this felt very nice.
I just wanted to start off the stream strong.
Have the conversations on our side of the aisle too. OJ is all over me, so I'm sorry about that, y'all.
I'm sure
we don't blame him. We don't blame him.
The comfort cat. Yeah.
They also want to know, Walter, if you're running.
Oh, no. It's not my place. It's interesting. I've done enough talks with candidates, and I just realized, I'm a comedy guy. I'm an entertainment guy. I'm a writer. And it's just like you talk to the actual candidates, like the person in my district who I've gotten to know really well. There's two, Emily Berge and Rebecca Cook, trying to beat Derek Van Orden. And Emily Berge is the one I know. She's a city administrator. She actually knows how to exactly what you were saying about working with the people in office at the time. I feel my job is to push that needle as hard as I can to the left, to push us away. Because we put the centrists in 2020. The vote did. They had Congress. They had the presidency. They didn't do squat. They completely allowed this all to happen. And I think they have to go. We have to lawfully vote them all out, vote in. And it's really been fascinating. I've been talking to teachers who are running, people with degrees in psychology, all across the spectrum, all these wonderful people willing to come and talk to me, people that aren't just lawyers or career politicians. And they'll think about your questions. They won't just regurgitate talking points in service of their corporate donors. There's a tremendous amount of really hardworking, brilliant people out there that have been roused, that are ready to take our government back. And the media is covering it up. But we are seeing progressive wins all across the country. So people should be enthusiastic.
The media isn't the only people. We're out here doing our service.
Yeah, it's a big media. Yeah.
Things too. We're independent media of sorts. I hesitate to call myself that. I mostly write long form content on the page.
Oh.
That's my
That's
role.
still a form of media. You
Yeah.
do more
Well,
for
and
the
I
independent
talk
media
about
circuit than I do.
yeah, I talk about things that are happening around the world and in our country, and I talk about social issues, and occasionally, if I'm feeling frisky, I talk about my current crochet project.
That's fantastic.
But the importance of talk about your writing. What is your writing on your Substack? Give us a taste of it.
Oh, well, a lot of it is just because I started out doing a lot of anti-racism. My wife is an immigrant from Peru. And so, I'm on the front lines of this fight. My wife and my children, they've all been harassed by this fascist regime. I'll never forgive them. And it's the enablers that make me mad, and pointing out all the enablers along the line. And the other reason, the guy, that skid mark on the Oval Office, he was put there. He didn't earn that. Yeah, I call him Captain Ketchup here. That's my other name for him.
I call him Captain Tankles.
They open the gates. The gatekeepers do this. And this has kind of happened in parallel with seeing people just openly harass my children. I've had people when they were 6. The first article I wrote that really came to prominence. These guys, we were at the movie theater. I went to get popcorn. I came back and these guys were harassing my 6-year-old kid saying, "Hey, this is America. We speak English." And I was just like, "Hey, what's this conversation? You got something to say?" And then they just retreat because they're all cowards. These white supremacists are absolutely
speak English, and I bet your 6-year-old probably spoke better English than that guy.
They absolutely do. But it's just that level of frustration, and then just unpacking, because what we end up seeing is the culture. I keep talking about the river of culture in the United States is as soiled as the reflecting pond, right? We need to change that river of culture. And the reason this is so difficult is because our opponents, they can default, and white supremacy, is like the default thinking in the United States. That's what we have to overcome. And people are confused because they've lived their whole lives here. They think things are just tradition, and it's not tradition. It's evil. It's a choice. It's something that we can change. So most of my writing, I'm trying to dismantle all that stuff that's been groomed and indoctrinated into us to make us trauma bonded so that we accept like the biggest incompetent, asshole, abusive human being as our leader instead of the qualified people that are right there. And I always say too, it's like we have to stop making apologies for abusers and we have to start elevating survivors. And it's just getting people onto that page, giving them permission to do these things. It's a challenging task. We're making a lot of projects.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I write a lot about anti-racism type stuff as well. Because again, I mentioned to you, I live in South Carolina.
Yeah.
I was raised to be a racist.
Well, yeah, we all were. That's not your fault.
Boils down to not an overt one. Like I would have been murdered by my family had I done it overtly. But like the systems in which I was raised in implied things that I, as a white person, have had to unlearn.
Yes.
And it is not an easy journey. And I think it's important for people who look like me and you to talk about it and to talk about our experiences and how we unlearned them to give people a roadmap.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I do. And I talk a lot about in the United States, we abuse our kids. The United States of America looks at children as property. That's like a remnant of slave thinking.
If I can cut in just for a second. I read somewhere somebody said that the most oppressed class of people in the world, not just the United States, but the world, are children.
Yes.
Actually.
Oh man. And it's so awful that, and me, when I became a parent, my policy was just do the opposite of every tradition. And all along the way, people are yelling at you. Oh, you're going to ruin your kids. You're going to spoil them. So you don't hate your kids. I don't have to punish my kids. They turn into nice people. And I think this mechanism is we go through school and then one day, you turn 16 or 18 and you're finally, if you're white, you're anointed with personhood. The marginalized communities never get that.
If you're white and male, just
right. Absolutely true. And absolutely true. And the problem is then you get this class that's so hostile because they remember that period of non-personhood and they persist in this belief that other people are non-people. And that's fundamentally the thing we have to change in the United States, recognizing the humanity of all people, That needs to be our first line of our new constitution. When this regime falls,
Mhm.
all people have a right to exist. And so much of the conservative ideology is to find a justification for punishment, which in not finding evidence of it, they create that evidence. And then they hurt people.
Religion, and this is
Yes,
another topic I
yes.
talk a lot about, creates a culture of fear.
Yeah,
From
it
a
does.
very early age, you're indoctrinated to be afraid of the world, to be afraid of yourself, to be afraid of this man in the sky who has control of
Yes.
your life and who's going to put the boot on your ass, your
Yeah,
head,
yeah.
whichever comes first.
Abs-
And when you're afraid, you make bad decisions.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I look at my parents and my brother and lots of people who are super conservative Christians, and they're walking around scared of everything.
Yes.
And
yes.
they turn that around on other people, not necessarily my parents or brother, by the way, but like people like them turn that around and try to enforce that fear on others, and it manifests in a form of control.
Yes. And I was reading in the comments, everybody's under the mistaken impression that this is worldwide. They forget, like, slavery is a thing that developed over time. Race-based slavery is not what's referred to in the Bible. It was hundreds of years later, about 1650, once
1619 is the word you're looking for.
oh yes. Well, once they realized they could stop being slaves by converting to Christianity, the Christians who wanted to protect their
That was
profits from the slave trade.
1627, in case you're wondering.
Well, it's an ongoing, and it's an evolution of how these ideas have changed. White supremacy emerged after the Civil War, and I've spent time abroad. I lived in South America. I lived in Peru for 10 years, and I saw a completely different culture. And this is an example of the indoctrination, where people in this country, they think, well, this is just normal. This is just the way human beings are, and all these things are not normal. This is the shame of the United States.
When you say that it's a misconception that this is worldwide, are you specifically talking about like racial hierarchy, or?
It's just that that's an oversimplification. When people are saying children are abused all throughout the world, true, but it's different abuse. It's a different kind of abuse, and it's like you talk about colorism. It's different throughout the world.
I get what you're saying. It's these problems exist elsewhere, but we have we have our unique methods of doing so that we need to address specifically. That makes sense.
And I misspoke. It was 1677, which was when Bacon's Rebellion happened. My apologies. I look.
It's hard to hammer it down to a specific date. It's something that evolves over decades. But that's it. I mean, in those eras.
I could talk about this. There's a great podcast I listen to, and it's several years old now, and it is called Uncivil, and it talks about that early period of time, and it talks about the relationship between white and black people in America, and it's fascinating topic and a fascinating discussing it. So also recommend The New Jim Crow, which again is a little out of date, but still an excellent book. There's another book I recommend called White Trash by Nancy Eisenberg, and it's the history of class in America, and it covers that same 400-year period. I am nothing if not a believer in telling people what to read to find out the same information I have. Because that's how I acquired it. Those are some book recommendations for y'all.
Well, the suppressed history is astonishing. Once you start digging into things, the Reconstruction in Black America by W.E.B. Du Bois. And when I was reading that, it's just like, it's astonishing because all the things when you sat in your history classes and you were frustrated, you're like, this doesn't sound quite right. You read that book and you're like, it all just clicks together. Everything starts making sense. And, it's got an excerpt from the Cornerstone Speech, which I think could be called the founding document of white supremacy. And you read it and it's just all outlined right there. And these are things that we hide, and then it gets to the point where in much of the United States, they're teaching the lost cause narrative, this absurd idea that the Civil War was about, they
not
try
as
to
much
say
as they used to be, if that makes you feel better. I
I just turned 28. a couple days ago, right? Or not a couple days, last week, whatever. But like before I moved to Pennsylvania, I grew up in Virginia. We moved to Pennsylvania when I was 12, and we learned. I had a huge culture shock, even as young as I am, in learning the difference in how I was taught about the Civil War in Virginia versus how I was taught about in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Even in a very conservative area in Pennsylvania. And also, let me be clear. I saw more Confederate flags when I moved to York, Pennsylvania than when I lived in Richmond, right? So, like, not as if the lost cause narrative isn't popular here, but there was still a huge difference. Again, even as young as I am.
Yeah.
Well,
and
I mean-
Tim and I grew up with a textbook because Tim and I both went to the same school that was written by a granddaughter of a textbook that had been written before the Civil War. So you can imagine how well that went over. And it was something else, is all I got to say.
I brought it up to somebody, like the Confederate flag. That's the flag of Lincoln's assassin. So I would think that flying that is a threat of violence against the president. I don't know why we can't make this argument and just get all those flags taken down, especially when they're, the number 8647, they claim that as a threat. Flying the literal flag of the assassin of a president should be illegal, I would think.
So
if these other
technically speaking, and this is where I turn into
I know you're
a
the Tennessee
pedantic
battle flag.
mansplainer of a human being. That flag is not the flag of the Confederacy.
Yeah, the Tennessee.
So why
battle
they
flag.
fly it is fucking stupid. And like I will tell you the story. I was part of the group of people who were trying to get it down from the State House grounds, right? Like here in South Carolina, and it took us years. It was 2018 before we got it off the State House. I think it might have been 2015, but I think it was 2018. Is that like it was put up. It didn't fly over the state of South Carolina until 1864, and it was supposedly put up in 1961. After 1864, we didn't fly it again until 1961. Was as the centennial of the Civil War, right? Now, I don't know if you know what else was happening in 1961 in the southeastern United States. Can you imagine? Let's see. It was the civil rights thing that we had activists here in South Carolina. This is something we do not get taught about in school. There were plenty of African American Black activists doing good work down here in South Carolina. It was put on the top of the State House, ostensibly as a memorial, but the real reason was to remind Black people who was really in charge. And it stayed up there to continue to remind Black people who was really in charge. And then it went down off the top of the State House onto the lawn, where it stood right in front of Main Street, Columbia, South Carolina, where God and everybody could see it. It was possibly more visible there, again, to remind Black people who was in charge. And that is what the flag does to this day. It is not a symbol of even treason. It is a symbol of white supremacy that we need to somehow convince people that it is stupid to fly.
Yep, we have to get rid of those and all the statues too.
I'm going to go into something else. I would like to get rid of the statues. All right. In South Carolina, we have something called the Heritage Act, which is one of the reasons it made it so hard to get that stupid flag off of our grounds. A South Carolina senator had to be murdered in Charleston for us to get it off the grounds, to get everybody in that stupid state house, except 2 people, to vote to remove it. We have to have 2/3 of the majority of the South Carolina State Senate and the South Carolina State House to get rid of any memorial, period, in South Carolina because of heritage.
Yeah.
Which is fucking bullshit.
Yep. Well, it just shows us the challenge. We just have to get those seats.
Yep. So the going back to things that you can do and that we did here in the state of South Carolina, and that might be useful in other places, like say Wisconsin. And then I'll stop talking because I know I'm not the guest. But the one of the things we did in South Carolina is we created something called the Monuments Tour, and we used the existing monuments on the State House grounds to tell the history. We called it the Legacy of the Confederacy Tour. And the legacy of the Confederacy is white supremacy. And that's the legacy of really the United States as well. And we just picked 5 or 6 monuments and we used them to tell the story of the state of South Carolina and its history of white supremacy. So in places where it's not easy to get them down without like a lot of people, there are other types of protests that you can do.
Yes. Oh, and I mean,
sorry for talking.
No, I think it's great. I just applaud you guys for having these conversations. I keep saying, because everybody feels so hopeless, and we got to build these communities. And I've been finding the work I've done in interviewing these progressive candidates. I just really encourage everybody to find that community. Set down your cell phone, because the entire media, basically all social media, has been, algorithmically controlled to just, make our despair, make it feel like this fascist takeover is inevitable, which it is not. And if you get out, you just find a candidate running at any level, run for school board. School board is how they started this whole thing. You always see these well-funded white supremacists who manage to become school board members.
Moms for Liberty.
Yes, and it's deliberately that. They're the book burners. They want to burn all the libraries, They want this whole social media takeover. They've taken away our ability to choose, where everything we get is curated through some system. I always use the example of when you jump on a streaming service. It doesn't matter if you go to drama, comedy, action, they're pushing the same 5 films, right? It's because the overlords, they want you to look at only these things. If you go to a library and you can see the total mass of all books ever created, you can make a choice. And what we've learned, or what we've been groomed or indoctrinated to think, is we don't have any power or agency. And so get out there and find a candidate, find a community, have them validate you. And winning or losing doesn't matter. It's just every day acting with that integrity, pushing forward these things that you know to be true. Don't compromise with, people who are abducting little kids. That's just not, we don't have to do that. And you'll find that this strength will grow fast. And we're seeing it all across the nation. Progressives are winning, and it doesn't take much, because now that they have, the treasuries, and once we start cracking that veil, it's like a crack in a dam. The water comes through, the whole thing comes down really quick. Thoughts? I'll leave you. Total disagreement.
But like, there's other ways. Like, you're a writer, so like I in addition to writing a little bit of like long form nonfiction on our page, write fiction. So there are ways that like storytelling is a way that we can also push back on this. So what kind of stories can we tell in the short term on social media, on like in books and in movies and things like this? Tim's a filmmaker in his free time a little bit. So there are a lot of stories that we can tell that way. Like, and finding the helpers, right?
Yes.
So tell me what other things you think that we can do as a group of progressives here in chat.
Well, I think it's really, really challenging. And I know just have grace with everybody, because it takes so long. I was 26 when I moved to Peru, right? And this was just a complete transformation of my psyche. And I learned Spanish through total immersion, which kind of reprograms your brain. And you really need to go through something like that, because America is so insistent. I mean, the word American exceptionalism, you could swap out exceptional for supreme, right? It's just sort of like all these ways of indoctrinating us to believe this myth, and everything we know about our country is a lie. So what's really, really difficult is finding those ways to just explore, pick one indoctrinated belief and just give yourself permission to challenge it. And that's really, really difficult to do. An example I like to use is, like order of adjectives in writing. We would say 7 big yellow dogs. You'd never say yellow big 7 dogs. That sounds weird. You would never say that. And that just is one very simple example of programming. We are stuck with complex layers upon layers. We've all been stuck in narcissistic relationships. What you do in those narcissists with like a toxic male, the patriarchal system, toxic patriarchy, which is linked hand in hand with white supremacy. And we're all indoctrinated to be like, well, he abused me, but I actually was at fault, and we're stuck in that mindset. And so just anything that you can write. I write a lot of stories about my own childhood, abuses that I endured, and how long it takes you. And I'm 51. And it's only been in the last couple of years that I'm really starting to make progress with some of these thoughts and things and allowing myself to be, no, that was abuse. That wasn't me not meeting a standard that I should have met. That was me being abused by an unjust system. And I give you permission to think like that.
You should read some of my stuff on growing up Southern Baptist.
Oh yes. I do regular talks with Andrew Watkins on Substack too, and she talks about her growing up under Christian nationalism.
Yeah.
So all that stuff it's a complex web. Yeah.
Southern Baptist might as well be Christian nationalism. It's all tied together.
Yeah.
They recently did something that pissed me the fuck off. And that they have decided that if you have a woman as pastor in a Southern Baptist, you cannot be part of the Southern Baptist Convention.
Yeah. Discrimination, bigotry.
The thing is, none of these churches could survive without the labor of women.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And their 2 biggest missions offerings are named after women preachers who was perfectly fine 150 years ago, but not in 2026.
And we have to speak. It's all we have to do is speak about those things. Just demand it. Bring it up to every preacher you meet. I do. Make them, because they always march up to you like, how have you sinned today? And you hit them back. It's like, what have you done to stop the child rapists in your parish today? And then they bow their heads. And that's where their head should be, because they're the ones who are guilty, not us.
Yeah. The Southern Baptists also had a scandal where they covered up pedophilia. If you ever see an 18-year-old Christian girl getting married, you should ask if the spouse is to be as her youth pastor.
Yeah, I've ran into a couple of those, and we don't talk about
Jim's
that
laughing
enough.
At me.
Well, because it's true. I mean,
it's hard.
I really thought we were going to go in a different direction, because usually the 3 words that get V going is moms for liberty. I thought we were going to go. But we actually aren't that far off anyway. So
yeah, so we can talk about Moms for Liberty. I got things to say about that group. I have friends who are school librarians, and I consider them to be on the front lines of that fight.
Yeah,
they are fighting hard. Just so you know.
Yeah,
I'm doing regular talks with Dr. Jamika Connor, and she's been telling me about how the OBGYNs, there's going to be a shortage of OBGYNs. There's already a shortage. Women are about to be just obliterated because of the actions of the conservative Republicans, the gutting of the healthcare system. Women are already bleeding out in parking lots. They're burying the data about how many women have died because of these reproductive healthcare bans, life-saving reproductive healthcare bans, which leave, there's no reason for these deaths. And they leave children behind, their other kids, and they have to die in agony.
You want to know why I cried on the day after, in 2016, the day after the election? Because I knew this fucking shit was going to happen.
Yep, I cried too.
And there was a lady in South Carolina, again, my social media was full of this, who had a baby that died at 5.5 weeks.
Yeah.
And they would not allow her.
I remember that story.
To abort it. Mm-hmm. There was a lady in Georgia who died, and they kept her body alive.
Yeah.
Because of that. There are women who have lost their fertility forever because the only option they had was to take all of it out because of sepsis.
Yep.
And when people were talking about the abortion bans before Roe fell, we were trying to tell them everything's an abortion, y'all.
Yep.
Any ending of a pregnancy is an abortion. And if you stop all abortion, you also stop DNCs, and you stop like people removing fallopian tubes for ectopic pregnancies. And in the end, women die.
Yep. And we've
And
surrendered the messaging. And like our side, the current crop, I mean, our Democratic politicians have huge platforms. They could be showing up at hospitals and showing what's happening. They could be. We've had a couple go to these concentration camps, you know, the ICE concentration camps, but few of them are really doing it. They're all being very passive, and it really is up to us. I mean, just to understand how complicit our entire political spectrum is currently, there with a few exceptions, how complicit almost the entirety of our media is. These stories are deliberately buried. The statistics of what's going on is deliberately buried. These algorithms have taken control where they censor out all the information that's there. Yeah. And one other point I like to add about Roe v. Wade, that was based on privacy. There was an unenumerated right to privacy established through Roe v. Wade. That's why they've been allowed to create these surveillance centers. Yep. Any object you have in your house, a cell phone, anything with a camera, they can now get a video of you. I tell my kids, do not bring your phone, do not bring a camera into the bathroom or your bedroom. That's what all these surveillance centers are being built for, to sort through all these pictures of our naked children, because we allowed them to strip us of our right to privacy, and nobody stood up and spoke. Yeah.
Awful.
Breath, deep breath. How about just a primal scream? Yeah.
So let's do let's take a break from the
fun questions. Yeah, this is just me all day just screaming like this.
Yeah, let's take a break from the hard stuff.
I'm just glad somebody's screaming still.
We have to, yeah. I prefer it not be me, but
let's talk about media, not necessarily let's talk about fictional media or that we're watching now that's giving us a little break from it. For me, I am doing a reread of the Dungeon Crawlers Carl series.
I've heard about that. A couple people have mentioned
Parade of Horribles.
I'm in the inevitable keeps telling me to read it.
You need to read it. If you're a gamer, you need to read it.
I bought the first audiobook and I just haven't gotten around to listening to it yet. Jeff
Hayes is amazing. He's the audiobook narrator. And you have to stick with it until Princess Donut talks.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. So, Walter, what are you doing to take a break from the craziness?
Well, one of the main things I've been doing, since COVID, is I write novels for my kids. So I've written up, I think it's 7 or 8 novels at this point, and it's like because I always recall the line from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, where Sean Connery thinks Indiana Jones has died, and he says, "He's dead. I never told him anything. 5 minutes would have been enough." So I'm like, all right, I better get ahead of that. So and the kids don't listen to you. But if you put it in terms of like a fantasy story and there's a talking dog, so the wisdom comes through the talking dog, then your kids listen. So that's one thing. My breaks are when I take a moment to write something like that. The other thing I've been doing is the app Canopy, which is a free app. You can sign in through your library, and it has a lot of I've been watching like BBC productions of classic novels, like what was it called? I can't think of the title right now. This is late in the day. My brain's going. But you watch these. It's like watching an audiobook, because the Brits are gonna do. And my wife just prefers British television to American television. Yeah. Again, she's from Peru.
Doctor Who.
So that's what we've been watching. I'm sorry.
Doctor Who.
Yeah. Oh, I actually haven't gotten into Doctor Who. I know a little bit of it, but I need to.
That's my favorite British television.
I started watching Doctor Who when I was in high school because a girl I liked really liked it, and I was not that into it, but I watched it because she was. So,
Did you still watch it? Did it hook or not? No. Did you ever date the girl?
Nope.
I also like the BBC.
I identify
Jane Austen novels. Just
listen,
the effort was impressive.
Listen, she shot me down. That's fine. It's whatever, but yeah. So
did you go dressed as Tom Baker with the big old scarf and the hat and be like, hey?
No.
Was she in more of the Eccleston Tennant era?
It was definitely the Eccleston Tennant.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I forget I'm 100 years old.
The cute Doctor Who.
Again, I'm in my 20s. So.
I know. Sorry about that. I've lost all sense of what age. Of course, maybe it's because of the fading eyesight. I can't tell.
So Jamie, what are you doing now to debrief?
I've been on a huge Fallout kick. I've been constantly, I've been replaying Fallout New Vegas, and by replaying, I mean I'm spending half the time modding it again, and not actually playing it. And I'm like halfway through this playthrough, and I'm probably about to jump ship to a different game.
Fun.
We have a family vacation coming up,
Woo!
which will probably be relaxing. Maybe, I don't know.
I'm also
I mean,
going
it
on
will
a-
be relaxing, but
I'm going on a family vacay with my mom, my dad, and my sister and brother-in-law and nephews, and I plan to read a lot of Tessa Dare novels.
Oh, I don't know who
that
She's a
is.
romance writer.
Oh.
All right, Jen, what you doing?
Oh God. Working? No, that's not it.
That doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count. No, actually, I've been doing a lot more of getting out into nature. That's what I'm doing
yes.
more of. I'm tubing and,
Yeah.
all the fun things that you try to get done in the beginning of summer, because as of now, it's 104 degrees outside and it will not be enjoyable. But the spring was nice. We went to Itchituckney Springs last weekend before, something like that.
Nice.
And went tubing, and it's a nice, long, slow,
Yes.
peaceful.
Without a
float.
phone. Get the
Yes.
phone down.
Can't have the phone because it will just get wet and ruined. So,
I find, just dunking my head in the river. Like if I just go and dunk my head, it's like that's a reset, and that lets a lot of the stress go.
Water.
And I'm
It's
frustrated.
cleansing.
Yes.
it is.
And you have to push away from the screen just to walk around the block where you get the, the ocular flow of the, the scenery going by. It makes a big difference. I want to mention two more things to watch. Did you guys watch Delicious in Dungeon? That's an anime. It was on, I think it was on Netflix. And then Taskmaster, that's free on YouTube. Delicious
I
in
love
sound
Dungeon.
Taskmaster. That's so much
Both
fun.
sound like they're up Sarge's alley.
right. I don't know.
This is
As
my
far
other hobby.
as
Oh, nice, beautiful. Yes. Oh, lose
as
yourself.
far as media, I watched Friendship with Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd. I'm a huge Tim Robinson fan.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love I Think You Should Leave. Phenomenal show. I rewatched Metalocalypse again.
Mhm.
And I need to get around to watching the Josh Johnson comedy stand-up special. That's
I've been dying to watch it. I need to do it.
My parents just watched it the other night. Josh Johnson's phenomenal. I think he's hilarious. So I'm very
He's in like Self-Reliance, right? That movie Self-Reliance and Drinking Buddies. That's the guy.
What, Josh Johnson?
Isn't that?
He's a
Does he
lot
do acting
younger.
too? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
I
somebody else, I
don't
think.
know. Like, I know he does stand up. I catch a lot of his stand up clips on YouTube. He is on the Daily Show.
Yeah, that's what I
gonna
was just about to say.
Yeah, he's
He's
like
a very young guy.
yeah. He's
Okay,
like
this is a
super
different
young
guy then, yeah.
Yeah.
He's great though.
Sarge, what are you
hilarious.
doing to relax these days?
Jake Johnson. That's the guy I was thinking of.
It's a very personal question, and I
What
feel
are
like
you
I
doing
might
to
answer that.
I plead, yeah. It might incriminate. It
What
might
state
incriminate.
for work things are you doing to relax these days?
I'm working on this documentary that we crowdfunded last year. I am finishing touches on some music that I'm going to release, and I'm also in pre-production on a film, or at least a proof of concept for a film.
When you're ready for me to review the script and let me know, and I'll give it a read through.
I'm trying to do it without any dialogue whatsoever. The proof of concept, not the film itself.
Okay.
So a proof of concept is basically like an investor pitch. You film a scene in the film, something that shows what you can do, is an embodiment of the work that you want to do in the film, like, something that's kind of central to the plot but doesn't give away the climax or whatever. And then you make it about 3 to 5 minutes. You film it, and then you try to shop it around and pick up investors. So I have to figure out how to raise money for this, because Civil War reenactors aren't going to leave their houses and come down and be in your film for free. You got to at least give them $100, $200 for gas, make sure they're fed, promised them that they're going to have cool cameos and close-ups and action shots and stuff like that. So I've storyboarded some stuff out, and I have to now I have to come up with some, probably about like $5,000 just so that I can afford to film 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Walter,
and
one of the things you may
feed
not
everybody.
know that you are among a bunch of history buffs
Awesome.
on
Fantastic.
this page. Tim's specialty is really the Civil War. He knows a lot about that shit.
Perfect.
And I know a lot about World War II.
I'm also a World War II head.
Nice.
Yeah. So Matt is a World War II head as well. But we're a lot of nerds on this thing. This is how we became friends.
I'm not a nerd. I'm the least nerdy person alive. Ignore the Warhammer models in the background.
Yeah. Oh, hell, man. I respect the hell out of knowledge. I mean, any kind of.
I do like Tim does.
That bloodthirster's not mine.
Yeah.
Tim does what we call Trader Month for Confederate History Month, where he writes a bunch of stuff about the people who stayed loyal to the Union.
Oh gosh.
And it's really great. And sometimes, if we're very lucky, he will get into his Sherman costume and film them.
Sometimes, if you're very lucky, you'll hear us start singing, "It's the most wonderful time." Because Sarge is about to start with his bullshit.
I've been trying to find a large field that has a lot of wildflowers in it, and I want to put the costume on and have my wife film me, and I'm just gonna frolic through the field and then play that song.
I was
it would be more funny if you did it with matches.
I was driving to my local game store because I'm selling a friend of mine some 20 jackals from my World Eaters army that I don't need. And I was listening to my protest playlist, and Union Dixie came on, and I was like, man, we got to start a Trader Month with just Happy Confederate Heritage Month. Drop Union Dixie immediately. Fuck you, suck my dick, traders, all that shit.
I do women's history. That's my month that I handle. But I don't dress in costumes and film myself.
But you could. We've seen you at Comic-Cons. You could very easily do the costumes.
Absolutely could.
I'm just saying.
I put in the big victory rolls and everything.
You happen to be very good at it, young lady. So I don't want to hear any other talk otherwise. Okay.
I probably should have been more on top of the Pride Month posts as the trans admin, but
that's okay.
I don't do things on the Facebook, so I just yell at people.
Oh yeah,
it is a cesspool in the comments section.
My role in the organization is mostly to help with the moderation on the Discord side and help with the organizational side of things. So my job is not to do social media stuff. It's just to yell at people when they mess up.
Well,
I yell at people in Facebook comments. I don't do it on Discord, but I do yell in Facebook comments. I scare people.
Well, the sheer number of bots out there, I call it, if I write an article that really irritates it, I call them a bot swarm, because you'll get 1,000 comments, and it's nothing. And some of these, and I think they're artificial, they'll leave 1,500 word comments. Do you seriously think I'm going to sit here? The one that starts out with an insult, I'm going to now, you feel like I'm going to sit down there and just dutifully read this 1,500 word diarrhea that you spewed at me? Nothing gives me more pleasure than just to delete that and block those accounts. But I mean, I kind of wish our side would start using bots to just flood. Obviously, this is how they program the American population, using these bots on articles and just spewing all this kind of content. Like the idea I said before, Republicans believe in authoritarian socialism. It's when Democrats get in charge, we build schools. When Republicans get in charge, they build trillionaires on our taxpayer money. And you start saying things like that, maybe that'll make a little bit of an impact. We just
see. It's funny that you mentioned that specifically, because I was talking with my folks, and they determined that if I didn't have scruples, I would have money. I could
Was that
do
an
Ben.
insult? I mean, same
No,
for
it's
me.
not an insult at all. I'm saying I could
be
do
a
Ben
cult
Shapiro's
leader.
grift easy. And I thought
Yes.
about like doing the. Have you heard about like the people scamming MAGA with the AI
Oh, that
women
stuff's
and all
kind of
that
funny.
stuff?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
well, remember after
I-
J6,
it's-
where on
yeah,
dating apps they were getting these guys to
Right.
send their videos. I thought
It's
that was
just-
hilarious.
well, with the AI stuff is I'm really tempted, but I'm so like morally opposed to AI.
Yeah, that's also my
And
problem.
it's the one side of it of like I'm morally opposed to AI, but
Yeah.
also it would be so easy.
That's the line
It's
I
the
have about that.
temptation is there.
Well, the line I have about that is there's a hammer, right? And just
Right.
because our enemies take the hammer and kill somebody with it doesn't mean we shouldn't take the hammer and build a house for the homeless.
Right.
The issue
right.
isn't the hammer. And AI is a tool. Like there needs to be regulation
Well,
of AI.
yeah,
AI is not
there's-
going anywhere. It's
well,
got to be
and-
ethically used.
What actually gets me is AI does have like generative AI does have practical applications.
Yes.
It's
yes.
just what AI companies push on us is the stupidest bullshit possible. Like
Well, they want
ChatGPT
AI to create art, and art
Yeah,
AI
they want
can't,
they
shouldn't
want it
create
to
art.
create art. They want it to mimic these things that
Yeah.
only human beings can actually do because only human beings understand. I'm sorry, I'm getting on my soapbox, but only human beings
Yeah.
understand how to use context and how to use things so precisely in order to make art. When,
Would you like me to go on to my AI rant? Because
Right.
I can.
It looks
But
like we're
there's-
about to lose Jen, though. I think.
Yeah.
Do I give Jen an opportunity to? Thank you for being here, Jen.
Oh,
I'm gonna, yeah, I have to. I'm so sorry, you guys,
I'm so
because I have
sorry.
to be at work early in the morning. I have a clinic to open, so that's always fun. Sarge, don't forget, you got to show us Mikey. Okay, give the people what they want. They want to see
that's
Mikey.
true.
Here it comes.
People
All right.
do want to see Mikey.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, Jen.
Bye.
Good
Yeah.
seeing you.
So
Y'all
yes,
too.
much like you.
I'm not even
I,
sure where
I
he
also
is.
believe AI has use cases.
Yeah,
I
like
work-
it's good at like crunching data. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's good in context where it's like in a medical setting they say, "Hey, crunch
not
all
off
this
yet,
data and look for this
Only
exact
if you
thing."
can control the data you put in.
Yes,
garbage
if
in,
you can
garbage
control
out.
if you can control the data set it's trained on. But
Okay. good.
that's the thing that pisses me off about it is the legitimate use cases are completely being buried by this bullshit where we're expected to do AI to do things or to use AI to do things that it was never designed to do.
Yes, yes. And they're pushing through all the like no regulation for the next 10 years. I mean, we need to regulate social media. I mean, all these things. And you get these people will argue with you, and they argue with you disingenuously because clearly social media is a problem when you've got kids killing themselves, after being bullied online. We have to do something. Anything else that's toxic, we regulate the radio waves and all those things. And it's just like the part of the problem is we've got people that have been in office since before the 8-track was invented, right? And I'm already at the point where I don't understand. I don't understand the new technology. It's like some of these people that are 30 years older than me.
Eight-track was a tape player, correct?
More or
Yeah.
less, yes.
Okay.
Jamie,
I saw
I'm
one
gonna
the other
beat
day
you
at a
up,
trade show.
personally.
at a
Like
trade-
you probably grew up in a time where Jamie, being as young as you are, you probably grew up in almost an entire DVD world, right?
I mean,
Very few
28.
VHSs.
I had a VHS growing up. I do remember going to a Blockbuster when I was very, very young. Right?
Yeah.
I grew up. We had a stereo that had like a rotating thing for 5 CDs.
Yeah.
My understanding is that 8-track is very similar
Woohoo.
to that. I wish I wasn't joking when I asked that question. I'm just it was a legitimate question to make sure I'm understanding.
Outdated technology is what I
Yeah,
was referring to. Yeah.
it was. My dad had an 8-track player in the car that he had when I was a small child. So I remember it was a fancy car. It was a pre-children car, because like pre-children living at home with mom and daddy car. But
my last car did have a tape deck instead of a CD player.
That's good. It didn't have a computer then.
Jamie,
you could fix it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
that's-
couldn't. It was a 2000 Dodge Stratus. It was a piece of shit. They put the fucking battery under the left wheel so you couldn't change your battery by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
It was bullshit. I hated that car.
Yeah, fair enough.
Keep going. What else did it have? Yeah.
Oh. fucking hated that car.
So let me go back to AI.
Let's go back to AI.
I want to hear more about this car. What was the best breakdown?
The AI,
Kinda
the
gas
AI
mileage.
use cases is that AI is essentially taking all of human knowledge and trying to bring something else. It's not creating anything. It is just stealing from other people what they want. Now you can, the benefits of AI is that you can talk to it in like regular human language and query data, right? Like you can say, find me all of this data and then total it and divide it by X number of days to get me an average, right? You can say that as opposed to formula in Excel, right? So that's, I guess, a use case for AI that is valid. But generative AI is bullshit.
Yeah.
And I don't like that, like people who are on well water in rural states and Georgia, for instance, are having their wells go dry.
Yeah.
Because of giant data centers.
Yep. And I'm concerned because we know kind of the uses that they tell us, but I'm more concerned about the uses that we don't know. And I've done a little bit of comparison. One of my friends, Arturo Dominguez, he's Latino. And we were just comparing the kind of content you see on social media. Because these AI tools, I mean, in the past, you'd say, I got a headache, and you'd get an ad for, Tylenol or something, right? But now we're getting the bots that show up on your comments are specifically designed, because Arturo said he's getting a lot of comments that say things like elections are for bootlickers, and it was like specifically designed for his they were trying to trigger his demographic. I had another friend who's like a 26-year-old white guy, and he's getting these things like, aren't you feeling like the masculine male is threatened? He's getting like these specific, the AI is reading who we are, giving you this brainwashing, through social media.
As a white woman in South Carolina who is, I'll say it, slightly MAGA presenting, bless my heart. I don't mean to be. I am not, but I do look like a soccer mom, right? Like it feeds me a lot of Christian content and trad wife bullshit. And so like I curate my algorithm very strictly. So I go through and I block all of those things when they come through, but it's still, they're still pushing them to me. Because they think because I'm a white woman of certain age from South Carolina that I fit this demographic. So this is the type of stuff they want me to see when it just very clearly is not.
And they're trying to manufacture you. And what's scary is we don't know what our kids
still thinks I'm a man. Right?
Yeah. Well, and what's scary is because in the past we'd watch TV and everybody would have this collective experience of what was on the TV, but we don't know what our kids are seeing online. And the fact that nobody is talking about this at all, instead they're just rushing to get these data centers, these surveillance centers. I keep calling them that because that even kind of incites the right. When I call it, they're just like, I don't know if I like those surveillance centers. And we got to push back these people that are saying, well, I don't like Republicans, but I'm sure as shit not going to vote Democrat. It's like, that's where our issue is. We got to get those guys to be like, look, then you're enabling fascism. Unless you are directly opposing it, you are enabling it. There's no middle ground with this, with what's going on right now. Love that.
I used my camera to try on my hat. Sorry about that.
No, that was beautiful. Perfect. All right, let's hear more about that car.
It's a battle that we're going to continually fight, and one that we as writers, Walter, need to are on the front lines of, because like people are pasting out. I'm going to say it, AI slop.
Yes, and I want to say too, we got to have more awareness of the academic disagreement, right? Because this culture that we're in now, it breeds division. That's all by design. It puts us against each other. You're either with me, you're against me. It's okay for us to have differing opinions, constructive criticism, like academic research, saying this is how I'm approaching it. You, from your diverse and different perspective, are approaching it from another way. And this is what we have to overcome. But I think people are just desperate for community now. All the community centers are gone. People spend all their time like this, The
loss of third spaces is insanely brutal. I'm very fortunate in that, like, I have a local game store that is a phenomenal.
We have a good game store too here.
Yeah. But if I didn't play Warhammer, right, or if like I didn't have that, I would have no social life.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm not personable. It's not because I don't leave my house. If I
It's
don't leave my
hard.
house every day, I lose my fucking mind.
Yeah. No, it's hard.
The third spaces used to be local bars. It used to be local churches. It used to be in like softball fields where you'd go and you'd have a softball league or whatever it is. And now the younger generation, and I'm not including myself in that because I do go to game stores and I do go to, I have friendly hangouts. I go to the coffee shop 3 times a week, right? And we write together, right? The third spaces are you don't have built-in third spaces now.
Yes.
You have to create them.
That's critical, creating them, because there's a longing for it. And running groups are kind of a nice thing, or just a walking group, but there's just an urgency for that. And this is why I'm hopeful about these progressive candidates, because we're seeing the candidates that are endorsed by the DCCC. They're the ones who's like, well, let's see how much money they have. And it's like half the time it's just because they wrote themselves a check for $3 million. They didn't fundraise. It's these grassroots candidates who have to overcome that because they can't buy the ads. And when the Democrats go and spend their advertising donations on ads on Meta, that does not help us. That just funnels money back to the right. We can't allow them to do that. So support these grassroots candidates who are out knocking on doors. That's the only thing that they have. We've seen in some of the states, like Connecticut, got this really difficult primary where you have to get 10,000 signatures to get on the ballot. Some primaries are really restrictive. But in a way, those restrictions, which are designed to not have any kind of challenges to the incumbent, once somebody commits themselves to getting on the ballot, they've done the hard work, because 10,000 votes will get you a win a lot of the times in these primaries. But I always tell people, join those campaigns.
One of the things I'm very proud of South Carolina for is on the first day of voting, 56 early voting for South Carolina's primary, 56,000 people voted.
Nice.
Most of them were Democrats, because on that day they were talking about doing redistricting in South Carolina. And one of the ways that we thought we could show this is a terrible idea was to vote. So that's what we did. There was a lot of grassroots campaigns to get out and vote early. And it ended up being something like a total of 360,000 Democrats in a 5 million person state coming out and voting the primaries, and that's easily 100,000 more than normal cycles.
So Walter, to bring it back to what you're just saying, you're talking about like helping platform these progressive candidates. What can you go in depth on what we need to see people doing to get progressive candidates where they need to go in terms of both platforming, but also in terms of fundraising, because we all know it costs money to run.
Yeah. Well, it costs less than you think. That's one of the things, because people got that impression, and that's another thing that's just been imposed upon us. Because a lot of times, depending on the state, you can get on ballots for a pretty reasonable fee. But the organizing, the signage, and it's just get out there. I've been working a lot with a group called the Courage Candidates, and what's really interesting about that is Citizens Impeachment. They also go by. And they're just a collective of all these progressive candidates. They get together. They're writing legislation as if in preparation for when they take power. And I mean, this is another failing we've seen of the corporate Democrats. They knew the Republicans weren't going to comply with the Epstein Files Transparency Act. The second they were in violation of that act, they should have been ready to go with some repercussions for being in violation of the law. So that's why we need this whole new mindset. But just find people. And too often Americans are stuck on this. Well, if they don't win, it was all a wasted effort. Get over that mindset, because you are gaining in community. You're gaining in acting with integrity. And I mean, a lot of the candidates, I've interviewed a couple that have had their primaries. A couple of them, Dr. Melissa Bird, she got 20% of the vote. Another guy named Eric Turway got 26. But this is their first time. I mean, they just decided to run out of the urgency of the moment. And in like 2 or 3 months, they mounted this campaign and got a considerable amount of the vote. And so we're going to just continue to build on that.
People got to learn to spit in the wind. the you laugh at that, but it's true. I've been spitting in the wind for
Oh, hell
the last
yeah.
30 years as a voter.
Stand strong. The wind changes, man. Yeah, it does.
So you keep spitting, and eventually you're going to turn around, or it'll turn around.
Yep, and they keep growing. You get name recognition. If you run for Congress, you get name recognition. Use that. Run for a race further down the ballot. It's like we can forget about the president and Senate and all those other things. It's your local stuff where the action is. Create these organizations.
Government's offices to change hands. We can do a lot.
Yes. And if there's nothing in your community that's organized about this, start it. It can be 2 people. There's resources in a library.
Space.
I'm sorry?
I build that third space.
Yes. Well, libraries are really, really open to these kind of things. You can go and get some advice from, who's ever in charge of the library. Usually they'll let you have space to have meetings there. And you'll find people that think like you, and you'll come out of your shell. It's like it is. Going to a bar isn't the best place to meet people. And that's why I was doing, like I mentioned, doing 5Ks, like just a different kind of people. And you'll see people that are just as frustrated as you. So as much as anything else, do it for your own mental health to feel validated. Yeah, build that community and run for school board. School board is kind of the basic one. Get some decent people on there and keep going up.
People don't realize the impact the school board has.
Oh, it's huge.
Like, I've been for a long time a proponent of very small, very local elections. Of the Republicans did this by taking over at the small level, and working over time to build things up to produce fascism. And as much as it sucks, we won't be able to fix this overnight. We have to do some of the same stuff. We have to do some of the same grassroots, like bare bones level, trickle up. Trickle down never works. Trickle up.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
And get off the algorithms. That's just hurting you. It's giving you false information. Don't scroll. Scrolling is designed just to waste your time. And don't get I don't like the debates on threads. They just want to waste your time there, get you frustrated. Remember that our opponent, they insult you first, because they want you to respond with anger and fear. So treat them with humor, block them, move on, retain your reason. I mean, but we are fortified now. We've been in this fight for 2 years now. It was daunting at the beginning. This has been like a doctor's level course in how to defeat fascism. We know more now. The regime is losing power every day. They are bleeding power. They have passed their point of peak power.
I'm pretty sure Mitch McConnell is dead, y'all.
Yeah, I think he died a long time ago.
No, literally this time.
I mean, Walter, it's important you say that. I think as scary as this regime is, and that fear is legitimate because they are scary, right?
Yes.
It is legitimate to be scared. Again, trans person living in central Pennsylvania, the fear is real. But we too often get lost in their power projection and don't look at the fractures they're having realistically either. It's important to not underestimate our opposition, but also not attribute them too much power, because that's what leads to obeying in advance.
Yes. And we have pressure. We can continue to pressure perfectly legally. Speak your mind, even if you're just screaming out in the void, as it's felt like I've done all my life. Say the words. They fortify yourself for your own personal resolve as much for the people around you. And I just guarantee there's a lot of people, because we've been conditioned to think we're not supposed to talk about things, or now's not the time. Like after every mass shooting, well, now's not the time to talk about gun control. Bullshit. I get to speak whenever the hell I want to speak. That's my right. And you'll find other people who will hear you. Even if they don't speak with you, they'll give you that sign of approval. And then approach them in silence, and then you grow. And we all grow in power as we find each other. But we got to get off the algorithms to get there.
I've been seeing a lot of you talk about algorithms, and I saw these things through the algorithm. But I'm off of most social media, but I'm still on YouTube.
Oh no!
Side note: deleting Reddit, one of the best things for my mental health humanly possible.
Oh gosh!
Oh my god!
Yeah.
But I've been seeing a lot of some of the YouTube folks that I follow talking about how the way we talk about some of this stuff and the way we view some of this stuff in that the algorithm encourages us to just get dunks on the enemy and whatnot, and not focus on the policy aspect of things, can be harmful in it's a tool of complacency, a tool to keep us complacent, to keep us feeling good because we pointed out that Asmongold is a piece of shit. When instead of, really meaningfully contributing to, hey, like we're contributing to protests. Hey, we're contributing to this this thing. And I'm not speaking about Sons of Liberty specifically, because we have, I will toot our own horn. We have done our work in trying and doing what we can to contribute to actual progress. But there's a lot of this out there.
That's a great point. And it's like, because everybody's talking about the reflecting pool. And like I said, we're only halfway through the primaries, right? And it's like, every time they're doing a story about the reflecting pool, they're not elevating one of these really powerhouse candidates. They're making choices about what you'll see people, creators bringing on a white supremacist and then just screaming at him. And it's like, well, you're showing that person more respect than you're showing me. You're not listening to my viewpoint. You're platforming that person. One of the things that happened recently.
Frustration I have with people like Cenk Uygur.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
It's a frustration I have with people like Cenk Uygur.
Okay, that's what they do. They bring on
Young Turks has been on a kick of
yes, and all these big platforms. And for this whole time that I've been interviewing progressive candidates, I'm mainly on Substack. I've been appealing to the bigger creators. It's like, look, this is how we legitimize the platform. You guys got 200,000 followers. You can get this person elected. And they refuse. They know who I am because I'm pretty well known on Substack. They refuse to do this. And I'm at the point now where I'm like, they're part of this. They're part of the cover up, like the Plattner thing. The Plattner thing has been, and whatever, he's the nominee now. But everybody was all worried about Plattner. And I looked into it with a friend of mine named Evie Bateman. It's like there was another guy running, David Costello. So I wrote his campaign. And within 24 hours, I interviewed him. And it's like, that's productive action. If you're worried, it's Plattner versus Collins, all these problems. There's another guy. Let's give some attention to this other guy.
Right.
And it's like, well, now Plattner's the guy, so I'll be with Plattner. But go ahead.
And like, I'm not going to tell people how to think because the Plattner situation is very complicated. But again, like if you're in the camp where you have concerns about Plattner, like you said, elevating the other guy is a very legitimate response to that.
Right? But then you get attacked from all sides because they're like, you're against this and you're against that. It's like, no, I've got a platform. I can elevate people. I'm elevating all the people, and I just let any candidate who approaches me. Most of them have just been so happy because they're cut off. And it's like this is the responsibility of the media. Right. If there are 2 or 3 people that have qualified for the ballot, you need to educate the population. But we've lost all of our local newspapers. The oligarchs have bought up all the local newspapers. Everything is funneled through this 2 or 3 corporate domains. And so we have been deprived of information that we can use to vote intelligently. It's part of the control model. And we have to deliberately signal that and break free of that. And like Substack is a place where you can curate by signing up.
That's why people like us are important now.
Having them find us is the hard
thing. We can do things because we're not making money off this. I'm doing this for free, right?
I have negative $30 in my bank account. All right. I am so broke. We don't make shit off of this.
Have you guys
be very clear?
Do you guys have Substacks too or not?
We do have a Substack. Admin V posts on it all the time.
Have you been restreaming this to that?
No, that we haven't monetized it.
Oh, well, you should. You'll get people that start. Although right now it's hard. Nobody's got money now. Yeah. This economic terrorism is focused. Yeah. And I want to remind everybody of that too, because for years they're like, well, you can't make money writing, so you must be bad, like imposter syndrome. It's like, it's not that. It's because of what I'm writing is a threat to our corporate overlords. And that goes all the way through to the movies we watch, the books that are published, the television shows, the news that is covered. Everything is designed to maintain the system of abuse. That's why I was recommending go to Canopy, read some or watch some films from Finland or whatever, where they have a radically different way of thinking about things, right? And it just helps retrain your brain.
And to that point, I think I'll be preaching to the choir here, but there's a noticeable social trend in how we look at art and like this level of everything is like a remake or everything's like a nostalgia bit or we're always rebooting these franchises,
Master of the Universe,
et cetera, right? And that's a part of that same lever of control you're talking about. It's the lever of our control over the art, because art is so much of how we communicate with other people, so much of how we communicate ideas.
Yep.
And it's this corporate control of it is very, very detrimental. It's very, very frightening.
Absolutely.
As a reader, I love small presses for
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that. I'm also a writer. There's a great small press that publishes a lot of queer books that I am contracted with. Should I ever finish my
good.
romance novel?
Oh my goodness! Can you send me
called
that?
Falstaff Books and it's out of North Carolina, and they do like horror and fantasy and all kinds of things that are severely subversive. I also have a friend of mine who publishes mostly queer books, period, at Gold Rush Press. So like you can find so many. The spaces you need to look for are the small press spaces if you're looking for art. I run a writer's track at a convention. One of the conversations we had on one of the panels was talking about how a lot of Black fantasy didn't get published because they already had a Black writer by the main press. And like gay fantasy didn't get published because they already have a gay writer. So they don't need any more at big names. But like if you go to smaller presses, you can often find good stuff. The one I'm most interested in reading that I'm going to pick up for my Kindle was a friend of mine who published Lesbians in Space. I'm very interested in that.
One of the first things I went on to Medium, and I've been published with a couple of small presses, but I went on to Medium and I'm just like, I'm going to review independently or in small press books. And once you start getting, a little bit of name recognition, all these people were sending me their books. You have more books than you can ever read.
Yep.
And I did notice like the LGBTQ plus publishers, the content there was this vampire, like this Victorian era lesbian vampire book. And it was just like, I was reading this and I can't remember. Oh, it had a funny name, but I was just like, I was learning so much. It's like books because there was some historical content, but I just didn't know anything like the mindset of being a lesbian. I'm like, this is fascinating. I love reading this. This is the greatest thing ever. And
there's
November
a book. Go ahead, Tim.
In November of not November, sorry. Before November of 2024, when I thought that things were gonna get reset and we'd be back on track or whatever, on Sons of Liberty on the YouTube, I was like, hey, if you're an author, send me your book so that I can read it and I'll do like reviews. And somebody was like, oh, you should do it in a smoking jacket with a pipe. The pipe should be like a bubble pipe. And I was like, okay, cool. I did. So I put the couple of items on my wish list and published it and people bought it. And then
the one
I got a bunch of books.
had where I was smoking, people bitched in the comments, but okay.
I got a bunch of books. Like I got four authors sent me 5 books. Somebody sent me 2. And I was like, okay, I'm going to read these and I'm going to do like a masterpiece theater thing. Like I had a big chair and I was going to turn around and be like, hello. And I was going to review their book. I wanted to do that so hard. And then shit popped off with like Joe Biden dropping out and everybody was scrambling. And almost 2 years later, no book reviews.
Yeah. And I always say too, you don't have to necessarily read the whole book. You read enough to write like a response to it. Because people get overwhelmed. It's like once you start getting, and I heard from professional reviewers, but you can get those writers on too. Have conversation. There's some there's really awesome people out there who are publishing these great books, illustrating a viewpoint. I always like the memoirs. I read this one memoir from a guy who he grew up near me, but like 10 years earlier. So it was like so much a parallel of my life, like scary how much my life was not as unique as I thought it was. Because
I have friends. If you want to do that, Tim, just let me know. I got friends who would be willing to come on and chat.
Yeah, that would be great.
We're gonna have to get through this election. Like once we hit November 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever, that's it. No more candidates.
Okay.
And on that note, I would like to request that if you can reach out to all your candidates and be like, hey, if you haven't been on Sons of Liberty's live stream, here's the email, get booked. Right now we're booked into August, but I would love to fill that all the way up through like November. And then at the election is my hard cutoff. I'm like, look, that's it. We're changing
Good
gears.
job. Thank you for that.
So, what one of our last questions, I just want to say, this is also asked selfishly because I've been thinking about trying to start doing some. What's some advice you would have for people looking to start writing, especially doing creative writing?
I still think Medium is a great outlet. Substack is a great outlet. These two platforms, I've made more on Medium and Substack than I did ever publishing. There's a lot of places you could go to, places like Submittable, and find small markets and things like that. The advantage of Medium is that it has a huge subscriber count. So if you get caught in their algorithm, you can get a lot of visibility, even though you're not very well known there. But Substack is a great place too, where it offers these live features. But just start doing it, just start writing. And it's like, I'm not afraid to publish anything anymore because I've been at it for so long.
Right.
But half the time, the stuff you're afraid about publishing is the best thing. But usually what happens is either it's good or it just disappears. Like the ramifications aren't bad. It's like it just goes into the void. And you can always recycle that. But yeah, find those communities, those online communities. Medium, Substack, those are great places to start. Start monetizing right away.
I'm gonna add, if you're looking to do fiction, find your local con community. As a convention head down here in the South, I run a writing track for a small convention. I go to a lot of writing tracks for different conventions. They are great. You can network. You can get advice on writing. There you go. That's my absolutely must.
I ask in part because I watched this podcast called Creepcast. It's two very popular YouTubers. They read mostly like creepypastas they find on Reddit and stuff like that. But it's gotten me thinking about like trying to start like start to write some like short horror stories or something like that. So that's the impetus for me asking. So.
Yeah. That would be, and I was going to say Ray Bradbury had some great advice on it, because everybody tries to start with the novel, right? And they're just like, the problem there is it's like you spend a year on it and maybe it sucks. So it's like, write short stories, write one a week. And he's like, it's like, you'll get a sense of accomplishment. You'll finish it. And he's like, and you'll get better. And he's like, and I defy you to write 52 bad short stories. It's like, a couple of them are going to be good. Right. So that's just, and it's just keep at it. Keep writing.
Some of us can't write short fiction.
Well, it's just, all the book is a bunch of short stories.
I write a lot of bad,
with a unifying theme. Yeah, with an overarching theme.
Ability.
But you write phenomenal short form nonfiction.
That's good. I'm glad y'all enjoy it.
So
we'll just change the names to something fake. Yeah.
Well, did I tell you
I feel like there's a challenge there. Nobody can write 50 some odd bad short stories.
Try to do that.
I will.
Yeah, you missed. Okay.
I'm gonna be the next.
Let me start again. Scratch.
I was gonna say, V, did I tell you that my aunt was telling me after she followed Sons of Liberty that she particularly she told me this at Easter, that she particularly enjoyed your post specifically. And she's a prolific reader as well. I think you and my aunt would also very much get along.
I like to read, and I have what I would like to say is a very unique, but not as unique as you would prefer, perspective on life. Because like one of the things I do with my writing, and Walter, I bet you're going to agree with me, is that when I'm writing, I write first for me, and then so other people don't feel alone.
Yes. It's always for you first. I write for my kids. I just posted a link to my blue whale story, and you might get a kick out of that if you don't have to read it.
It sounds good.
I will copy and paste that link into the public chat.
Oh, great. Well, at a later date, when all this is over and we've emerged from the chaos, I'd love to just do a talk about writing. I would love that. It was just a relief. It's just a relief. I'd rather be writing, but we're fighting fascism right now. So
yeah.
So we can find you on Substack under I'd Rather Be Writing, correct?
Yep, that's me. Right. Yep.
The first Tuesday after the election. Guarantee.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it then. If there's still a world.
Talk about writing and
just take a deep breath and celebrate our victory. Our massive victory.
Sometimes you need to take a beat and just enjoy things that actually bring you joy.
Absolutely. It's the gallows humor. We get through this through laughter. As serious as the times are, you have to maintain that positive spirit, because that despair is the loss already. And we just have to, there's no victory in compliance ever. There's no safety in compliance.
Nope.
So we're in this fight till the end, and we're gonna win.
Goddamn right, we're gonna fucking win.
Fucking A.
Absolutely.
And then we're gonna find your old car and burn it.
It's already junk. It already died.
We're gonna find one just like it.
Hey, okay, all right. My car, it died. It was having trouble with its battery and its alternator to the point where the last time I drove it, it shut off on the street right before I got home, and I pulled into the driveway, and the moment I pulled into the driveway, it shut off and never turned on again.
Well, that was kind of nice of it. It got you home one last time. I mean,
fucking piece of shit car, but it did what it needed to do.
All right, guys.
I still miss the first car I had.
I've got to leave the chat because I have some things to do, but it has been a delight chatting with everybody. And let's do this again when we can just talk about writing.
Oh yeah. Oh god, that'll be
sure.
relief.
That'll
I
be
love it.
phenomenal.
I love it.
All right, bye guys.
One day this will all be over. One day.
All right. Thank you so much.
Writing Wednesday.
Writing
Wednesday.
That'll be good.
Ooh, yeah. Alliterative. Perfect.
All right, Walter, thank you so much for joining us tonight on our live stream. I would absolutely love if you put in a good word for us with all of the other people that you have interviewed. We've interviewed some as well. We work pretty hand in hand with the Impeachment Coalition for the Courage Council.
Oh, great. I was going to just drop in the chat my list of all the interviews I've done. I've got all the emails on there, so that's there too. So you guys have that. And but I'll talk to a couple for you.
Can you email that to me? Because once we in the stream, that chat.
All right, gotcha.
Goes away.
Gotcha. I understand. All right, I'll send that to you.
All right,
Thank
y'all.
you,
That's our
guys.
time for tonight. Our upcoming streams next week. We've got 2 special live streams. On Monday. We've got Alabama Lieutenant Governor candidate Lieutenant Governor candidate Phil Insler. And then Tuesday, we've got Peter Crosby from Utah District 2.
Hey,
Tuesday after that,
Alabama's only lost if we don't fight for it. You understand?
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. She's got the news.
Tuesday after that, I'm just going to mention it's another Utah candidate whose first name is Johnny, and instead of going by his name, he goes by Johnny Utah. What the?
Perfect.
Shout out Johnny Utah.
Right. Yeah.
From Point Break?
Yeah. That's exactly what I said. And that's not his first name is Johnny, but his last name is Larson, but he's like Johnny Utah.
Johnny Utah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
And then we've got Francesca Hong, who we had on the live stream.
Yes,
but,
I've interviewed her twice.
canceled.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Another gubernatorial candidate. So, yeah.
Oh my God. That reminds me though. Can we try to get Francesca Fiorentini on this podcast sometime? I mean, she's way bigger than all of us, but it'd be amazing, be phenomenal.
I have absolutely zero.
I'll see what I can do,
and I will literally ask just about anybody. That's
I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do to get all of my personal left-wing independent media heroes on this podcast, so I can.
We reach out to tons of people, but we don't get a lot of responses.
If we can get Kyle Kulinski on here, I will have a heart attack live on air or something.
Tune in.
Right?
Tune in for the live heart attack. Yeah.
All right, that's going to be our time for tonight. Again, Walter, thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. So fun.
Thank you so much for being here.
Jamie, Jen, and V, thanks for being on as well. I don't think V knows that she didn't hit that. What is it going? Jen didn't hit the button. V didn't hit the button. They're still.
I don't know, man. I don't know how to hit the button either, man. I'm just here until I'm not. If your power had gone out tonight, it would have been awful.
There's a joke in there somewhere, but I just posted a lick clit snot boots t-shirt link, so I'm not gonna make it. I've made my requisite joke for tonight. So
you couldn't do me like that too. Come on, man. I got a reputation.
I could see. All right, we gotta go.
We gotta go.
See some shit that's gonna. Yeah. All right, that's our show for tonight. Thank you, everybody. 2 claps and a
Have a good night.
Oh,
Woo!
I missed it. All right. Woo!